this era, all day. Hell yeah.
ArmWrestling's about to take place.
Yeah. Good evening, YouTube world. How you doing? Paul Italia here. So I got a special guest tonight. He owns the title of #1 Australian arm wrestler. Also a good friend of mine. Got to kick it with him last weekend. Had a great time. So welcome, Lachlan Adair.
Thanks, man. How you doing?
How you doing, brother? I see. How's the quarantine going?
Yeah, man. I ended up getting the plague. And, it caught up to me, so I tested positive 2 days ago. So got an idea where I could have got it from, and it was on the way home on the flight, I think, from Washington to LA. So yeah, but all good. It's pretty mild, man. That puts me kind of day 5 of having it, and I'm on the up. So we all do.
Wow, that really sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that, brother.
Oh, good. It was a good time to get it because I had to quarantine anyway. So I thought if I'm going to get it.
There you go. Knock it off now. You'll be good then.
All right,
so I heard also it was a rough trip home. I heard you missed your flight going to LA or something. What was up with that?
No, so the Washington to LA flight was delayed. And then that pushed, ended up missing my international connection. So they booked me in the next day, a full 24 hours after. So yeah, it was a bit of a mess. Took longer to get home than I would have liked, but I kind of expected something like that in these times, you know.
I hear you, brother. So I wanted to go and start off with the big day of your pay-per-view Supermatch. I wanted to get your first thoughts that came to your head when your eyes opened up that morning.
Like it's game time. So I thought, game time, let's get it.
How were your nerves? Were they kicked in then? Were you feeling nervous at all? Were you feeling confident? Like, explain what you felt when you first woke up.
I was feeling just super ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, just wanted to get out there and get it done, but had to force myself to rest throughout the day. So, that was definitely a mentally forced thing to happen.
So can you walk me through the day of, like, everything that you went? Like, what did you eat? Like, how did everything they go about that day for you?
Okay, so daytime, I try to have like a relatively decent breakfast because of the event was at like 9 p.m. So I had kind of all day. Then after about, I had like a classic American breakfast. I think I had some biscuits and gravy and some eggs and whatever. Just ate everything. And then lunch, I think we just got I didn't eat lunch. I keep everything light. So day of the competition, it's just carbs. So a heavy breakfast, and then I just kind of cruise on quick and easy carbs all the way up to the event. I don't like competing on a full stomach. It kind of makes me a bit sluggish. So, yeah.
Do you have a certain routine you do during the day? Do you listen to music? Like, how do you relax? Do you do meditation? Like, what do you do to keep those nerves from creeping up on you?
Man, I watch like forward drive videos, forward drive shows. It just kind of forces me to chill out because it's pretty it's pretty chilled. Yeah, so that's kind of my thing. I'll just watch stuff like that and just force myself to think of something else and keep a lid on those nerves until go time.
Nice. So now let's fast forward to an hour before your big super match, around 8 p.m. What were you feeling at that moment?
I was at the event, and I had my headphones on and stuff like that. I was just listening to music and just staying focused, keeping a lid on my adrenaline. Just not yet. So heaps of adrenaline on the day, especially an hour beforehand. So yeah, and just kind of I ended up pacing around a fair bit, just keeping my shoulders nimble and not wanting to get locked up and just kind of stay loose. So that's how kind of helped keeping a lid on all the nerves.
Now, did you pay attention to the other 3 matches before your match?
I did. I did.
Now, what did you think of the opening one, that amateur super match we had on? Were you happy with how that went?
Remind me who it was between?
It was Damon Ransom, and we had Robert Kelly, the guys from ArmWrestling Uncensored.
Yeah, that was a fun match. Yeah, good match. It was ref fairly. Yeah, it was a great match. I paid particular attention to the Wayne Withers and
Austin Jaggers.
Austin Jaggers, that's the one. Yeah. So that match went. That surprised me. I actually kind of gave it to Austin for some reason. I think Wayne Withers recently has not been on the best run. He's been having some relatively high-profile matches, like Pork Chop's no joke, and I know he got beat by him. So yeah, I was surprised Austin lost, but good to see Wayne back in form and getting back into it.
Now, what did you think about the big match between Travis Bajan making his comeback left hand with the new warrior Brandon Alcessor?
So I got to pull Brandon after. I don't know if it was filmed, but my left is injured but relatively fresh. He just had his beat up, so not true data there, but the man's very strong, very strong. So I'm glad I got to feel that and give me kind of an idea of the level that Travis is at. But definitely entertaining match. I mean, Travis certainly doesn't fail to entertain. So,
were you surprised at Brandon beating him?
Surprised, but not really surprised.
And why do you say that?
Well, yeah, I've seen Travis in shape, in the flesh. So when I saw Travis, not this time, the time before, was Arizona, and he was seriously getting ready for a match back then. And just to see, that version of like ready Travis, I actually got to see that versus this. I was like, all right, that kind of throws a spanner in the works. You've got someone in Brandon who's been arm wrestling for, what did he say, like 11 years?
Yeah, I believe it's 11 years.
Yeah, and he's been really consistent recently, like the last couple of years, not just a little bit, like he's seems to be really smashing it out for a long time. I don't know if he was beforehand, but he posting more regularly, so it seems like he's training way more regular. So when you take someone with that level of consistency and intensity with his training versus someone who, only trains for matches, will kind of only pick something up in the last couple of months before the match, we're now dealing with a lot of unknowns. So that's what I mean. I'm seeing the difference between the two Travises, knowing that Brandon Alcessor is incredibly consistent and on the rise. I said I was surprised the big man lost, but I wasn't really surprised.
All right, so now we're up to your match. Your name is called, and you walk up to the stage and all. How are your nerves at that moment?
Nerves gone, adrenaline through the roof.
Okay, and now when you first grip up with Todd that night, what is your first reaction?
I wanted to top roll him. So I'd been practicing this move that was fast and, had a degree of like a high level of back pressure, and was just going to take his hand and continue on with that hit if it proved fruitful. The refereeing was very fair. Our elbows were in the center of of each pad. We were center line, perpendicular as well. Everything was perfect. And to be honest, that threw me off. And I trained pretty strict, but that was stricter than the way that I've been training. So that was kind of like first, this doesn't feel super comfortable, because you could kind of see me coming across him in the setup, and I was trying to get up and kind of past him a little bit more. But yeah, look, and I hit. I got first off the go, and we were in outer straps, and then I felt my hand started to go, so I dumped my shoulder in just to get the slip, and then tried the same thing in straps, but he just shut my pronator down hard and just put me on my bicep, and I tried top rolling twice. I tried just going whatever. I'm ending up in a hook. Let's see if I can land in a hook first, because he just kept sucking me in. And then I went for the press at the end and put everything behind it, and just his arm didn't move. So I went, all right, that's it.
When did you first feel like you were in trouble?
End of round 2. First round, I went, okay, take that on the chin. Let's try, something else. Let's see if I get the win, right? Tried that something else, didn't work. And then I was like, nah, shit.
Now, if you had to take a guess in the gap difference between you and Todd, what number would you be at, 1 through 10, if Todd was at a 10?
I think that's probably a better question for Todd, to be honest. And the reason I say that is it's really hard to know. Was it 1%, 15%? Obviously numbers in the gym don't say a whole lot, and obviously because my numbers are higher, so hard for me to say. I couldn't move his arm. He felt like a brick wall. Lots of other people have said something different, and I'm like, nah, I know what I felt, and I couldn't get through that arm. I hit my spot and then just opened myself up a little bit more, trying to pull through it. So if he's a 10, I don't know. I tweaked my shoulder, so I didn't get to do too much after pulling with my right to give it a go. But hard to say.
Well, I'm going to have him on interview tomorrow night, and I'll definitely bring up that question for him.
Yeah, that's good.
I know you said that I know you had your aftermath recap on your YouTube channel, and I know you said on there that Todd told you a couple of things that you could work on. Can you share a couple of those things with us?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing, just to summarize it, was that the hand and wrist is largely static while you are arm wrestling, and that's the way it should be loaded. Biceps as well. So biceps tend to be quite static while you're arm wrestling, so training them in that same fashion. And yeah, lots of multi-spinner work that he's been doing on his YouTube channel, and because he puts all his training up for free. So yeah, it was kind of adding a lot more statics into my current program, just as a brief synopsis. But yeah, so I'm definitely trialing it out. Though I'm unwell, it's all lightweight, and I'm just thinking, okay, how do I make this work for me and work it in? And so far, I feel pretty good about it.
I like that Todd shared that with you, and it gives you the opportunity to grow as an arm wrestler and keep your progression up. Now you can go back to the gym and really start working on everything that he told you.
Yeah, definitely appreciated the advice. Yeah, looking forward to getting back in and seeing how everything feels.
I wanted to know, was there anything that night that surprised you that Todd did?
No, he did the same thing 6 times over. And that's not a criticism. It worked. I wouldn't change it if it was plowing through everyone. But just the connection, that's what kind of blew me away. Was like he moved his body sideways and his arm just stuck with him all the way. Like it just felt super duper connected. And that's what surprised me the most. He didn't I didn't open him up and muscle through him like some people arm wrestle. Felt a lot more rigid than I've had before with other elite pullers.
So I guess that's what 21 years of arm wrestling does. And that also makes reference to Ryan Bowen's new YouTube video they just put out the other day, where he asked the question if old man strength is a real thing. And he had Toddzilla call in, and he definitely went through everything with Toddzilla being 55 years old and still going around the world and being top elite and just kind of knocking out everybody around his weight and all. So, yeah, that definitely shows that old man strength is a real deal thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing I brought from it. Just need more skin in the game.
Yeah. Now, Your match with Mike Aiello, was that kind of like the similar style that Todd used to go against you, would you say?
No, two different styles, but both hooking, obviously, but Mike really kind of crashes down on your arm, where Todd twists and then drags, but it's dragging on a more lateral sense rather than coming downwards. But they both had the same result. They both pulled me onto my biceps. So, yeah.
Oh, I remember you saying after that first famous practice 2 years back that you would love to feel a comp-ready Toddzilla. Do you feel you got that last weekend?
Hell yeah.
Thing that you've ever felt before, the strength that Toddzilla came to the table that day with?
Nah, the way he applied it was just brutal. Yeah.
Also, I've been seeing online a lot people giving you crap over going into that match confident. And I just want to address that. I don't get that. I believe that when an athlete takes a match on, he should truly be confident in what he's bringing to the table, and he should truly feel like he deserves the win. So if you didn't do that, I think that would be a worse thing. So I'm kind of confused at why people are talking all that crap. And, I just wanted to kind of like stick up for you and, remind everybody, this guy, only 5 years in, you traveled across the world, 21 hours on a plane. You went through everything. You left your family at home. You had to go through a time zone shift. You had to quarantine for 2 weeks after. You actually caught COVID when you got home. After all of that, was it all worth it to you?
Always is, and that's why we go big. Yeah, I mean, this is a point that I kind of raised before, that it's not like a quick flight. I can be there and back in a day and a half. And that's for all Australians. So generally, we try to go big. Mario Tambakis went to a huge tournament. That's awesome. We just need to go big when we travel, because there's a lot to it. It's a lot of time off that I don't think people take into account. But yeah.
Well, I definitely want to give you praise, because I totally respect what you did. I can't believe, 5 years in the sport that you could even be, up in talks against somebody that's been going at it 21 years at the top elite level. And I just find it amazing that in 5 years you're up next to that level. So I just want to congratulate you on progressing so fast in arm wrestling. Definitely keep going at what you're doing, brother. I definitely see you as the future as far as elite pulling it goes. And I just want to thank you for coming on tonight, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that heaps. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having me in your country and spending the time. That was awesome. Made everything a lot of fun. Made everything run smooth. Yeah,
well, I just want to conclude. This is the end of part one. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to both our channels. Make sure to get over to Lachlan Adair's Instagram.